Big Tobacco thanks to the £250,000 channel point redemption for me to tell you the story about the time the kids in Newport didn't want to be your pallet anymore. I've never been to Newport. I don't think I'd be able to tell that true story because I have never been to Newport. I don't really know what Newport is like or anything. What I can do though, and you might want a refund here, I don't know. I can tell a story about something very similar that happened to me, but this is in a place called Millport, Mill Port, Millport. Not no Newport, but Millport. Millport doesn't sound like Newport, so I don't think you got mixed up with it like because it's pretty. Don't think you'd make a mistake like that. Don't know if you got the right streamer, but then again, how did you accumulate £250,000 channel points if you got the right streamer? Some of it's my fault. But anyway, I'll tell the story about the Millport one. When I was maybe primary school age, late primary school, can't quite remember. No, primary 5 maybe. Something like that. Go down to Millport every summer and all that, just sort of kick about doing fuck all by myself. Really, it was before I met people and had pals and as a teenager and all the rest of it down there. Started drinking and all that. It was like before that. And they said Newport, this is the wrong story. This is all they're going to get, unfortunately. It's the closest I can do. Somehow got pally with this group of boys. Maybe there's about 6 of them or something. About my age. And they all knew each other. I think like some of them were related and some of them were pals for back up the road. They're all staying in the one house. They're all staying in the same house. I knew that. And sort of kicking about with them down at the sort of seaside. Don't even really know what we're doing. Fuck knows. Don't know what sort of things I was saying or doing. Can't remember. I think we once saw a Johnny bag, a condom on the rocks or something. I think we were talking about it. Can't remember. Something like that. I've got a vague memory. It's like, look. Anyway, I went, like they said they're going round for lunch or need to pop round to the house to get something or some shit like that. And I went round to their house and sort of stood outside or they sort of went in and came in and out. And then sort of hanging about with them for how long? I don't know, maybe a couple of days, a week, one day. I can't remember. Hanging about with them. And at some point, they just said to me, when we were out and about, they said, like kind of down at the seaside, they said, we don't want to be friends with you anymore. It was something like that. And I went, all right. And just walked away. So why they did that, I don't know. Did they just like hanging about by themselves and I'd sort of latched onto them? And they're like, how did we end up with this guy? And they've spoken to their parents and they're like, how did we just say, we want to just sort of, did I say something? Did I maybe do something? Was I a wee psycho and I can't not got any memory of it? Was I saying things like, let's go and fucking kill something? Or fuck knows what? Did I smell? What? I don't know. But it hurt my feelings. And I was back to being by myself. Lynn, I said earlier that I got to pay it for Twitch and how it's quite low. I'll go into details later. But I spoke to my business partner, Lynn, and she's not happy. My boss, she's not happy. And so she's on my case about, you got to turn this around. So she's obviously overheard me, what I'm just saying there, because she says, going for the sympathy vote, good idea. Um, I'll tell her that that's a channel point redemption. I was asked to do this. I was asked to do this story. Somebody redeemed this story. Um, you know, I just feel I'm getting shadowed here, micromanaged, and it's really actually interfering with the flow of the stream. Anyway, so at some point, like weeks later, maybe a year later, I don't know, I remembered them. I don't think it was in that same holiday. It might have been a year later, or a different holiday. So it's like maybe doing the summer, and then this is when I was doing in September. I don't know. Didn't see them about or anything like that. And I went run to where I knew they stayed, had stayed, the door. I remembered the door. Not to chap on it and say, can we be pals again or anything, but to vandalise it. And I can't remember what I did. I didn't, either I scratched it or I was thinking of scratching it. I can't remember if I vandalised it or no. But I might have scratched it. I might have pulled something off. Or I thought about it. I can't remember, but I remembered going round. I remember going right up to the door. I know where the door is. I could go right now. I know where I'd be able to find it. And I remember looking at it though. Standing right there in front of the door, just looking at it like that. All by myself. With this hatred. The child who is rejected by the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. Yeah. Yeah. So it was kind of defining moment. I think it set me off on a hateful path. But I think it's what spurred me on to be such an attention seeker. Now, everybody can fuck off. That's your story there. Now the person did ask for the story about the time the pals didn't want to be the boys didn't want to be pals anymore. That time I was in Newport. Unfortunately, like I said, I've never been to Newport. It's Millport that I've been to. So I hope that's good enough. I hope that's a good alternative.